Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in my garage, and it's not so hot tonight. It's actually kind of nice. So I have two things I want to talk about. One is kind of a supplement to my last video where I talked about this Q Thunder Chicken suppressor and how I took it to the range, and I accidentally burnt my rifle bag. As you can see, I got a little hole right there. And this suppressor got super hot, and I had a bunch of burnt nylon on this thing. And I asked you guys, what do you guys think I should do to get it off? And only one person stepped up to the plate and wanted to help, and that was my friend Craig. And he said maybe like a little, like a rubber or plastic scraper. But I figured out a way to get it off, and now the suppressor looks like new. I used my heat gun. I was thinking, well, if it got burnt and all that nylon was on the can already, well, heat will get it off. So I got my heat gun out, got it pretty hot. It began to bubble up, and then I used gun oil and steel wool, and I was able to kind of, not really scrape it, but I kind of rubbed it, and it all came off. There might be like a little bit left in there that I need to take off, but otherwise, the suppressor looks like new. So a heat gun with oil and steel wool. So now let's get to the part of the video that I want to make. I know some of you guys are not humongous fans of this, but I always like to respond to some of the mean comments that I get on my channel. Sometimes it's on the main channel, and sometimes it's on the Texas Gun Vault 2. And I think I have some from both. So let's just dive into the mean comments of the week and see what some people have to say about me and my content. All right, so our first comment comes from the range report on the JP Enterprises GMR-15, a 9mm AR-15 style carbine. And Body Bag Zero says, "Man, you are a turd." Now, don't you like it when people add to the discussion and the conversation like that? He just doesn't like me. You know, the one thing in the world that I guess still perplexes me to this day is why people have this desire to be mean when they don't have to be. You know, I think that Robin Williams was right when he says, you know, always be kind to people because you never know the battles that they're fighting. Now, I'm not really fighting any battles, and this comment doesn't bother me. But I really feel sorry for people that just go through life and just feel like just because they don't like somebody for no reason that they have to say something about them or call them a name and so forth. But that was kind of a funny one. I got called a turd. I guess he doesn't like me or my video or my opinions. All right, so the next video, the next comment I have is a pretty recent one. In fact, it came out this week. It's on my range report on the Midwest Industries GAU-5A ASDW, the new Air Force survival rifle. And Alex Joseph 8363 says, "Overgassed? Oh, really? People who make this silly comment have no idea what they're talking about. Biff," I have no idea what that means. If you guys can tell me in the comment section below, let me know if Biff means something. "Thumbs down and 0 out of 5 stars for you." Now, I gotta say, this is a pretty stupid comment because I believe that rifles can be overgassed. And if you end up shooting a lot of different guns, you will know which guns are gassed appropriately. You can be undergassed. The guns will short stroke. They won't run reliably. Then you have guns that are definitely overgassed. They're going to have a lot of wear and tear on the gun. You're going to have more recoil, and you definitely smell and feel the overgassing. When it comes to any gas-operated rifle, you really begin to respect the companies that spend a lot of time making sure everything's balanced. And I think that's really important, not only for the performance of the gun, but for the I guess the shootability of the gun. Because you can easily just overgas a gun, slap some parts on it, and if somebody doesn't like it, "Oh, you're just an idiot, go get more training," all that kind of BS kind of stuff. But for me, someone that really enjoys the nitty-gritty of the mechanics of firearms, I love to see when companies take time and really design their guns so well, everything from the size of the gas port to the choice of the gas tube or whatever the operating system is, and really get it to be gassed correctly, because it can make the difference between a gun being and performing really well and a gun performing poorly. And I guess this person has never experienced anything like that. But once again, they just got to be mean to me because they don't like a certain comment. So instead of adding to the conversation, saying, hey, I disagree with you about this, or this is what I think about overgassing or undergassing or gas systems in general, and we having a discussion, just giving me, I guess, 0 out of 5 stars and giving me a biff thumbs down? No idea what that means. All right, next one is on my range report of the Mateba Model 6 Unica Defense Auto Revolver in .357 Magnum. Now, this is one of my most popular videos right now on my channel. I get so many views on this. And Brad Hilzer 1566 says, if Borchardt lived long enough, he would come up with a similar retarded design. Unlike Borchardt's designs, this abomination is no doubt a CNC MIM crossbreed. I'm surprised this thing doesn't have rails. If they make it, a-holes will like you will buy it. So first off, he didn't obviously proofread what he was saying. I'm pretty sure his last comment was, if they make it, a-holes like you will buy it. Boy, that is a pretty darn stupid comment. Now, why would somebody say that? It is okay if you don't like a gun that I review, okay? And that wasn't even my gun, which tells me, because in the beginning of every video, I always thank the people who lent the gun to the channel if it's a gun that's been lent to the channel. So obviously, he didn't watch the video, which tells me he's uninformed, he's ill-informed, and he's ignorant. And it really makes me sad that there's people that go around wanting to be ignorant or choose to be ignorant. It's so sad because I feel like knowledge is power. One of the things I always tell you guys about is, I'm 44, I'm going through my existential midlife crisis thing. And I've been spending a lot of time thinking about my own mortality and death and the nature of life and human consciousness and so forth. And I think one of the things that I get the most depressed and sad about is, when the inevitable eventually happens, I'm not going to get to experience or the knowledge or get the knowledge of what the future holds. Like, I want to know so bad what the world will be like in 200 years. Like, I want to know that so much. And not just, from some, flippant, superficial standpoint. I mean, think about the difference between now and 200 years ago. Okay, we're talking 1824. I mean, the world was totally different. Think of the technology, the general philosophies of the world, how governments worked, just world history, and think about all those things that changed so rapidly. As time goes on, technology grows so fast. And changes happen quicker. I just want to know what the world will be like in 200 years. 200 years from right now, what's going to be happening on this spot? I'll be a forgotten memory. All of you will be forgotten. We'll just be names on lists or names on tombstones. I want to know. We're 1,000 years from now. I want to know how it all ends. And I get a little sad that I'm not going to know. It's the knowledge. I have so many questions that I want answered, like, do aliens exist, or will we ever find them? Because I actually believe that they do. Somewhere the universe is just too vast for life just doesn't exist. And my solution to the Fermi paradox is wrong place, wrong time. That's what I think it really is. I kind of feel like the universe is just so vast that we're at the wrong place at the wrong time to make contact or to see evidence of other life. But anyway, but this person obviously goes through life wanting to be ignorant. And I don't understand why they had to call me an a-hole. You don't have to like the gun. And I guess me reviewing it just makes him mad. And that kind of stuff I don't say scares me, it bothers me that there are fellow gun owners out there, or people that have access to firearms that have this type of mentality. It's a little bit scary. All right, and I think, let me go over these. I think my last comment is just a kind of a general, kind of a mean comment, because it's somebody that just doesn't like my thoughts on the HKMR27. And this is a Texas Gun Vault 2 comment, because I have not released the video that I made on that HK rifle yet on the main channel. And I always give you guys like my first impressions. And this guy had a lot to say. Now, as I always say, remember, I am an average gun guy. And I review so many firearms. And they're from so many different places in the gun community that nobody can know everything, okay? And I try to take you guys on this learning experience with me, because I am so excited to learn about these guns as much as you are. And sometimes I get things wrong, or I miss things, or maybe my perspectives are a little bit different than yours. But we can go on this journey together, and I learn a lot from you guys as much as hopefully you learn from me, you know? And I like to share what I know, what I discover in my research, and share with you my experiences with certain guns. It's all about knowledge and education and enlightening the gun community. You know, that's what my main channel is about. And I try to make everything on my main channel positive and uplifting, G-rated. It might be boring because it's long form, but you know, it is what it is. But here is somebody that was very upset with me. And by the way, I never respond to any of these comments, and I just block and ban them. But I want you guys to see the kind of stuff that I get. So Kilo0151 writes a very long comment and says, Jesus, all of your complaints sounded personal as hell, and you are looking for problems where they don't exist. The LaRue mount, anything that clamps on a rail will eventually mar it. Get over yourself. Rail covers, if they are bothering you, perhaps move them. By the way, that flat part of the foregrip rubber is meant for you to place your pressure pad if you're running a IR box. ACOG SDO 3.5 beast of an optic does not need 2 locking latches on the rail mount. 1 is more than enough. The arm on top is solar powered. That's why there's no buttons. Maybe the fiber optic band wasn't obvious enough. Also meant for CQB and shooting with gas masks. That's why it's so high up, not as a primary means of aiming. Gen 2 PMAG, anyone that still owns Gen 2s in 2024 is just plain goofy. Which, by the way, I guess his comment is talking about you guys too, because I know PMAG Gen 2s are very prevalent. You can still buy them in stores, and they're all over the place, and they're relatively cheap. Those things are problematic even in AR-15s. Now, I don't know what the heck he's talking about, because they've always run great for me, and pretty much I've never heard anybody complain about them, except in certain firearms like the HK MR27, where the magwell is not designed the same as standard ARs. Hence why the Gen 3 was invented, LOL. Also, anyone that drops thousands on this rifle should already know that. Otherwise, I would question your decision on making such a frugal purchase on something you don't understand. I don't think he understands what frugal means. Frugal is the opposite of that. You know, I would assume that he would say something like, if he knew what he was talking about, would question your decision on making such a expensive purchase, you know, or an exorbitant purchase on something you don't understand. And then the last thing he says is, you're also talking about a rifle's accuracy when you've only shot it at 25 yards. That kind of sums up my entire opinion of this video and yourself. So obviously he doesn't have a high opinion of me, but in that video, I did shoot it out to 100 yards that you guys will eventually see. But when I filmed that garage first impressions thing here, I'd only shot it to 25 yards at that point. So once again, somebody that just wants to be mean to be means, or just to be mean for means purpose, you know? I always review the guns from an average gun guy's perspective, and when it comes to a gun like that, that's set up a very specific way, I want to give you guys my personal perspective on it. And I don't think many people, I think this is kind of ignorant on his part, are going to buy this rifle, go wear a gas mask, and go to the range with it. So the height of the red dot over the ACOG, I think, is a valid point, especially if you're just an average gun guy. And I think this person, what was his name here? Kilo0151. He says, all your complaints sounded personal as hell. Well, it sounds like his comment is personal as hell. I just don't understand why people have to go through life and just be jerks, you know? You know, there's people in this world that I, I don't like in my personal life, in my professional life, unless they give me some type of reason to say something, I don't say anything at all. The only time I really ever have to speak up is if they, try to attack me or engage me in a non-professional or disrespectful way. But in general, there are people that I just don't like. And sometimes I try to take a step back and go, why in the world do I not like this person? Like, what is it? And sometimes it can be something silly just by their aura, the way that they talk, the way that they carry themselves, whatever it is. But I never go anywhere and say this person's a jerk or a turd or an a-hole or any of that. Because I realize that we're all individuals. We all have worth as human beings. And just because I may not like that person, that person's point of view, perspective, opinions are valid, and other people do like that person. They're obviously loved by either their spouse or their friends or family or whoever. So if I don't like somebody, I don't say anything mean about them unless, provoked, and I just don't live that way. And I also know that that's probably a me thing. If I don't like somebody, I try to take a step back and go, why don't I like them? And if I can go, well, I don't like the way that they talk or the way that they carry themselves, or maybe they're a name dropper or whatever, I can realize that that's me, and I keep it internal. I go, that maybe I'm not the best person. I can't tolerate this person. Maybe I should do a little bit better, Or I can just choose to avoid them and not get into any conflict and not be bothered and not bother them. I think we all do that. Just being a good, just being good people. And as I always say, I always want to be a good person. Every day I try to do a little bit better. I know that I fall short on that sometimes, and I apologize. But I'll continue to try to do better, and I hope you guys do too. So anyway, hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. Wanted to share the mean comments of the week with you and tell you how I was able to clean all that burnt nylon off of the suppressor. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you watch to the end of this video, the word of the day is going to be biff, because I have no idea what that person said with a biff thumbs down. So tell me, is it inappropriate? I have no idea. Biff, B-I-F, is the word of the day, so I know you watched to the end. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, and thank you as always for joining me here in the garage. And as always, thanks for watching.